G'day guys, welcome to Shelby Wright Garage. This is the 4th episode of the Deep Ivy Landau restoration. In this episode I'm going to completely finish off the right hand rear wheel arch. I'm also going to pick up a parts car and unload that parts car as well, and take care of cutting out a rear parcel tray to suit this Landau restoration as well. So why don't we take a look at the wheel arch and we'll start unloading and take it from there. And this is what we were up to from last time. Got a little bit to do on the outside, and the parcel tray definitely needs some replacement. May as well start by unloading this crap. I better go and grab this car then. Maybe that way a little bit, that's it. That's good, beautiful. We get the trailer underneath. Hold up, gotta go higher. That's it. That's on, easy as that. Here we are, we're all loaded, parts car is on. We've now got a motor that we're going to put in sleazy. We've got a parcel tray that we're going to put in the scrap metal Landau. Happy days. let's get it home.
So a bit of backstory for this car. This was actually my first Ford that I ever owned outright myself. I bought it at the age of 17. It was a 6-cylinder cross-flow XC Falcon, nothing special. I did it up for a while with the 6-cylinder, and then as you do, you sort of upgrade to V8s of the era. So I threw the 302 in there and decided to give it a rebuild, but the rebuild never happened. The car's pretty much sat ever since, and it's sat outside waiting for me to do something with it. So as it turns out now, it has come in handy. It's going to supply the parcel tray for the Landau, for the D5 Landau. It's going to supply that V8 motor for Sleazy, hopefully. We'll create a video on will it start, so Stewie doesn't realise it yet, but he's going to be in for that, helping me out. That'll be some fun and games. It'll be a bit of a challenge, it'll be interesting. And look, the other parts will just be gobbled up on Landau projects or sold off, so that's all good, happy days. And that's pretty much the story of the XC Falcon.
So after getting this sad old thing home, I've stripped most of it out. Got to start cutting it up. You can see it's pretty well rooted. Not much left of the floors either. I thought maybe they were salvageable, but unfortunately not. So pretty much the only thing I'm going to salvage is the rear chassis bar. I'll probably keep a bit of the roof frame, and I'm obviously going to keep the rear parcel tray, which is one of the only things in really decent condition, so that will be really good for the Landau at the very least. And that's pretty much it, so may as well finish cutting it all up and sell off what I don't need and do what I can with that motor on the front so we can use it for Sleazy. That'll be an interesting video. Poor Stewie doesn't know what he's in for, but unlucky Stewie, unlucky. So both quarters removed and roof skin off. We've got clear access to the rear frame. I'm not sure how similar that is to a Landau, so we're just going to keep it just in case we can use it for sections or cuts. But the right hand A pillars and B pillars are removed. So while it's all out, I've got clear and easy access to the parcel shelf spot weld, so we're going to pop the parcel tray out, and then we'll pop out the spot welds that are sitting on the back here. And that's pretty much it. The rest of the car is pretty much junk. I'll cut out the pieces out the front that I need, and good to go.
Now we're going. We're recording now.
It's all loose, it should come out.
And that's how you do it. Just a bit of brute force, mate. Just throw it.
Well, we are called She'll Be Right Garage for a reason.
Oh, look at that.
And that's pretty much the end of my first Falcon. That's all the chopping I'm going to do. I'm going to push it off the trailer as it is. Once the motor and box is out, I'll cut up the rest and it'll all get taken away for scrap metal. Bit of an end of an era for me. I actually don't have any regrets, interestingly enough. I'm glad that the vehicle is at least being chopped up to go to something a little bit better, which is a hardtop in my opinion.
Slow.
You'll be right. You'll be right. Whoa, I'm gonna get fucking stuck.
That's alright, just right over that out the way, we can finally get these wheel arches sorted. You can see what we're dealing with now. Quite a bit of the outer's gone obviously, and bits of the inner. But overall not too bad, pretty standard rust for Falcons of this era, hardtop or sedan, so we'll sort him out pretty quickly. might be a bit hard to see, but I'm just going to do a cut along there. I'll cut a little bit extra, then I can start dealing with the fold as it wraps around this part, and trim that up to suit along there and get a bit of a curve happening for these parts. So I'll trim the excess steel off, makes it a bit easier. So I'll bend it over a bit by hand just to get a bit of a rough curvature. It actually fits fairly well. Looking at where the cut is where it just starts to curve on the end, so it should be relatively straightforward. I'm going to trim this edge where my finger is now, get that to fit neatly, get the bottom to fit neatly, get that to fit fairly neatly before I knock over the curve for this part. You can see that fits a lot better now. And now deal with folding this edge over and then creating a little bit of curve on there and sorting it all out. Now we can line that up nicely, weld that into place, grind it smooth. Where my thumb is, I'm going to have to do a spot weld there, so I'm going to do a hole first, but yeah, let's keep going. And that'll pretty much do that. Moving on to the next bit. There's a lot of seam sealer between the two panels, the inner tub and quarter. Got to get that out of the way before I start welding in this part. Obviously once the car gets dipped, it'll get rid of some more. Unfortunately, we have a closer look. It's also exposed more rust, which I was hoping wasn't there, so it's just as well that I did that. Otherwise I would have found out after the dipping, which would make the rust repairs there a little bit more difficult. So no, not to worry, we'll cut a bit more out. Just got to tackle it, got to get it done. Rest isn't half bad actually, so looks like it's just this main part here I've got to deal with. Don't like my chances, I think it'll all blow through, but I'll try and weld it from this side, see how we go. I think I'm going to tackle this one in two pieces, just be a little bit easier in my opinion. I'll get some basic cuts marked out. Just a basic line to follow, just to give it a bit of a curve on the vise. Just going to hammer it along that line between a couple of gaps, then test the fit out. It starts to fit reasonably close like that. Just need to trim it and fine tune it. Make a little bit of an edge on that, just to match up here. But that's pretty much it. We'll finish that off and then we'll start welding it in. to the next piece. Alright, time to get the curve in and weld it. Alright, halfway there, front half done. Quite a bit of work to do here. That'll do it. So for our final section of wheel arch, I'm going to do it in 2 pieces. We'll probably do it at about so. Cut that out. I'll spot weld it in, then I'll do the last piece, I'll cut it out, spot weld it in, weld the whole lot, grind the whole lot, and then I'll be done and dusted. Still a little bit big to fit right now, but by the time I create this curvature, it may well fit exactly how it should, so I need to make sure I do that first before I fully trim that. And so after doing that, it still requires a little bit more trimming across the top. Very, very minimal now, so it's just as well that we did this curvature first. I can try to look at making this line here actually quite pronounced, this section, more so than it was further forward. So I need to get this line reasonably accurate. I've got to do it fairly deep just because of the location where it is. That's one completed driver's wheel arch. Easy as that. Fucking hell. Righto folks, that's it for the Landau restoration video number 4. We've got a right hand rear wheel arch all sorted and rust free. We've also got a parcel tray courtesy of the parts car. Do join us for the next video. We're actually going to try to get that engine running. That'll be video number 2 for Sleazy. Stewie doesn't know what he's in for, so I'm sure there's going to be a good reaction out of him when he sees what we're actually dealing with. I don't think he's going to expect us to get it running. I'm quietly confident. And also don't forget our next video for Landau number 5 is going to be tackling the right hand front A-pillar and sill section. So do join us for that. Anyway, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Cheers. Son of a bitch.
There we fucking go.
Wait up! It's all by itself. Do it by hand, it's easier.
No, it's not, mate. It's easy. I'm old.
Fuck you. Shit. Is that what you're doing there, mate? Nah, mate. Wouldn't have a clue.
Ah, why did that land on my ass?
Turd. Turd. Oh, fuck, my pants are on fire. Ow! Fuck ya. Oh. Motherfucker, that hurt.